Judges are being urged to hand out more community sentences. That's rather than sending people to jail for short terms.
The plans for sentencing in England and Wales also tell courts to think twice about jailing women because of the impact on children. It comes as all eyes are on the parole board today after it postponed a decision on whether James Bulger's killer, John Venables, should be released. Earlier last month, James's father, Ralph, urged the board to keep him in prison.
Well, to be honest with you, I think you've got to do everything you can to try and keep him behind bars, because he's been a danger from day one. He's reoffended. To me, I think he enjoys what he's doing, and he's a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off.
We're joined now by former Metropolitan Police Detective Peter Bleksley. Welcome, Peter. We'll talk about the sentencing issue in just a little while, but first let's talk about this. Now, it strikes me it's quite worrying. We were told that John Venables' parole hearing, which many of us, I think including you, thought should never be happening. Why are we going to let this dangerous paedophile who killed a kid when he was just 10 years old back out on the streets, in and out of prison ever since? Dangerous man, shouldn't be released. However, he got his parole hearing last week, 2 days we were told. The decision, worryingly in my view, has been delayed by a fortnight, which would indicate to me they may be preparing to let this monster out. Surely not.
We shall have to see, but let's just remember the parole hearing that was held behind closed doors in order to protect Venables' mental health, we were told. What utter poppycock. The public and the media should have had access to that, should have been allowed to report freely upon whatever was said. But we were all denied that. So now, of course, they are going to take their time to come to this decision. And, of course, there is only one decision that would be just and right and ensure public safety, and that would be to keep Venables where he belongs, behind bars.
I mean, it's being announced today that jail terms could be cut. The Sentencing Council for England and Wales say judges and magistrates should think more about sentences that have proven to reform offenders. I mean, clearly nothing to do with the fact there's only 200 prison spaces left in an estate of over 80,000. Surely can't be anything to do with that. But, you know, the argument, they would say, is that some people go to prison and end up coming out even worse. Do you think that sort of, you know, has any merit?
And you'll find that the Prison Reform Trust, who wrote a lengthy report not so long ago, would also support that position. For some who serve short sentences, prisons are crime academies. I will accept that. And prison is not always the solution for every offender. However, are we living in some crime-free nirvana where we can all leave our front doors open when we go out? No, of course not. Shoplifting is off the Richter scale. Assaults on retail staff, 800 a day. Let's just think about that. Every day, hundreds of staff getting assaulted. Violent crime, unacceptable levels, wheresoever you look at it. And however the politicians and the police kind of put their statistics forward to try and fly in the face, there is a mass of unreported crime, because the people don't trust the police to give them an effective and professional investigation, so people have largely given up reporting it. We are in, quite frankly, in many regards, lawless Britain. And sending out a message that we're not going to send people to jail is utterly ludicrous and dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, both serious criminals and minor criminals now proceed with impunity because we have this weird police force that doesn't seem to be interested in investigating crimes, particularly, as you say, things like shoplifting, bicycle thefts, car thefts, burglaries. They don't want to do any of this. So all sorts of criminals proceed with impunity, confident that the cops will never come anywhere near them. I would suggest that instead of going in the lenient direction right now and sending that message even more, go on, break the law, you'll be okay, we should be going in the other direction. Sending more people to jail. I know we've got a cell problem. However, we need to send a message. You break the law, you go to jail. It'd be quite good, wouldn't it?
Build more prisons. Yeah. Although, of course, there are plans, but there are problems at the moment with these planning applications because MPs don't want a prison in their constituency. And so there are objections and they get clogged up in the entire planning process. There are predictions that say we'll need well over 105,000 prison spaces in this decade. And at the moment, the building is not on track to meet that. We need deterrence. That's what so often prevents people from committing crime. A strong, robust deterrent. Prison is a deterrent. Funnily enough, shoplifters don't shoplift when they're in jail. It is a deterrent, but sadly, it's lacking. And this message just tells the criminals, carry on, act with impunity, as how you like, because the chances of getting banged up are very, very slim.
What about women? There's a lot of focus on, don't send women to jail because, they might have children. They're, I don't know, the gentle sex, the fairer sex. Don't put them in jail. Well, what about if they murder someone or if they break the law seriously? I mean, not so long ago, there were actually serious proposals to abolish women's prisons altogether. This is ridiculous. Just because you happen to be a woman, why should you be treated more leniently than if you happen to be a bloke?
I managed to have a grumpy week once a month, and I don't go out on a shoplifting spree.
And I'm delighted to hear that. Absolutely
Maybe
thrilled.
I should start.
Yeah.
Please don't. Please don't. Because I might be forced into making a citizen's
I'll have to get myself a new glamorous co-host, won't I? But seriously, Peter, I mean, this idea, go easy on women, it's ridiculous.
It's the fluffy, wokey liberalism which plagues our criminal justice system in so many parts. There are some very capable, professional women shoplifters out there who are part of organised teams who steal thousands upon thousands of pounds worth of goods every single day. There are women who have a predisposition to violence. Are we saying you just shouldn't be locked up according to your gender? That is quite frankly ludicrous and once again, dangerous.
Yeah, and finally, I mean, what people are proposing is that instead of having short jail terms, they do community sentences instead, especially women with children, so they can maybe spend more time with their kids. What are these community sentences?
Wear a tag and be subjected to a curfew. That's really going to deter someone away from a life of crime. In certain circumstances...
Just don't go to 24-hour Tesco, nick your stuff before 8 p.m.
It will be all that kind of stuff, which is ineffective in many, many regards. I go back to what I said earlier about some non-custodial sentences can work, but by and large, we need the deterrence to deter people from committing crime, which in so many regards is quite frankly off the Richter scale.
Certainly is. Thank you,
Peter, thank you so much. Brilliant to have you in the studio.